Mm, Good morning. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. If you agree with the thumbnail, because if you agree with the thumbnail, you're going to agree with what I have to say because the thumbnail says it all. So let's begin. As a spiritual seer, my job is to lead you to the spiritual waters. It is not to argue with you and insist that you drink. It is merely to lead you to the water, and when your spirit awakens within you, then you will know where to go to find sustenance. I'm not going to debate you. Excuse me. I'm doing what God has sent me to do. You have free will. Now, you may get on your knees and pray to your white Jesus. I don't care. It is none of my business. You are given free will. I expect spiritual people to adhere to the message, like and subscribe to my channel, and share the information. Religious people, I expect them to get on their knees and to pray. Now, what they're praying for, I don't know. Why they are still Christians, considering the history of Christianity, well, I do know. They are not listening to the spirit within them. They are brainwashed and they have become comfortable with being brainwashed, and they fear their Christian masters becoming upset with them. They want to fit in to this satanic narrative. Now, as you notice, there are no white casualties. Well, there are no white Caucasians that have been deleted. This is a message to African Americans who are Hebrew Israelite. We are a spiritual people and not a religious people. Now, if you understand how racism has always functioned in the military, then you know that white soldiers that are wounded or injured will be attended to first. They will get first priority. Black soldiers will be attended to last. There were at least 30 wounded. It takes time to care for the wounded while others have to wait. Now, my question is, living in a racist society and knowing what we know about the military, do you think those black soldiers were going to be treated first? That is not the historical narrative. That is not the historical narrative. They will be treated last if history is to repeat itself. Now, do you remember the young man, the young man who escaped? His name was King, and he went to North Korea, of all places, to seek asylum. If you remember the story, they accuse him of doing XYZ in a bar. And the narrative got worse and worse and worse. All of a sudden, this man had went to the bar and he was beating up people. But the reality of the situation, if he was a violent person and he was doing this or that, then he should have been in the stockade. Or he should have been, if nothing else, not permitted to leave the base. Now, he was seen outside the base, so they could have caught him and took him back before he went across the border. The question is, you tell me, was he running or was he not? I will tell you this. Look at the atrocities committed against African Americans who fought in World War II. Look at the atrocities that were committed against them when they came home in uniform after World War II. I rest this part of my case. Understand this. South Africa, a black nation, took the Synagogue of Satan to the International Court of Justice, which Caucasians created, and won the case. And if Israelis are committing genocide, then it is further proof that the Bible is correct in that calling them the synagogue of Satan. They are also guilty of deleting their own people who disagree with Zionism, the same way the KKK will delete Caucasians that are not also racist. I point out the South African case against the Israelis because this is what they were supposed to do. They were to bring this to justice, but they are not supposed to physically enter into a war against two races. Ethnicity. The Palestinians were racist before this incident happened. The Israelis have always been racist because they have tried to steal our nationality. And AIPAC, which is an Israeli lobbying group, has stated that black people, black young men in particular, are their enemies. Now, I'm quite sure you have heard about this. So, should black people be in the middle of a war between two sets of races that hate us? I say no. And I also say the Christian church, which supports the synagogue of Satan, which is proven by Biden being in their church, being allowed in their church to preach BS to them. And did he give us reparations? He said no. Did he give us a hate crime bill? No. But he's there asking for votes. And he's going to black barbecues. And he's releasing black people from prison who are incarcerated for non-violent marijuana charges. When in the reality is, most of these black men in jail for those marijuana charges, if they were white, would not be in there anyway. But my main point is this. If Christianity is what we should be, if it is right for us, then why are we being asked to support an enabler of genocide? Why are we being asked to support an enabler of genocide to protect the people who have called us their enemy? Christianity is still being used the same way it has been used over the century and during slavery times. Now, you black Christians, if you don't agree with me, then get on your knees and pray to your white Jesus. But I can guarantee you, he's not going to go against the Pope, his number one man, who's Biden, who you see in the thumbnail. Biden is shaking his hand. Who you see in the thumbnail is supporting Netanyahu, who is guilty of war crimes. And 3 black people were the only ones who died in the attack. If you don't think that's a warning, cool. I'm just here to lead you to the spiritual waters. I'm not supposed to make you drink. I'm supposed to make you aware of the choices that you are making, so that when you do decide to think and use your mind, then you will be able to see the truth. And once you see the truth, you will stop being a Christian and you will follow the God within you. You will follow the seed of God within you, and you will start to mature that seed so that you may be the spiritual being that you were created to be, God's chosen people. God is spirit. God has never been a man walking around and then if you were God, would you allow yourself to be beaten and crucified? And then supposedly, and if you're God, could you die and come back from the dead? Doesn't even make sense. Intelligent people that realize the error of their mistakes, like and subscribe, and share the video. And understand this: when we overcame slavery, when we fought and got civil rights and the right to vote, it wasn't Christianity who did this. It was God. It was the will of God. And it is the will of God that is in action today. And it is the will of God that has set this example for you to follow. Now, you don't have to follow it. You can just get on your knees and pray to go to heaven. Or what some of you do, get on your knees and pray to be rich. I'm done with it. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Share.